Donald Trump had a rally over the weekend, and as always, I have a few moments that I want to take a look at. The first is this weird obsession of his with the fact that the media doesn't report on the fact that his January 6th crowds and his other crowds are so massive. Now, one of the moments he goes, they never turn around the cameras. That's a lie. I see crowd shots all the time when, going through these rallies. And then on the specifics of January 6th, he's brought up so many times, they never want to talk about the crowd on January 6th. Donald, think to yourself for a moment why that might be. Why they're not talking about the crowd size you had on a day where certain members of that crowd went over and stormed the Capitol and led to the death of the people and tried to hang the vice president and all of those things. Maybe it's not the most important detail, buddy, but here this odd moment is.
We will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And I'm just thinking as I'm saying these words, this just sounds like an old-fashioned from 50 years ago type rally, except we have a lot more people than they ever had. Nobody ever had crowds like we've had. In the history of our country, nobody's ever had crowds, and these corrupt people will never take a camera and turn it around and show them how many people are here. They never do it. They're corrupt. They never do it. You know, I never knew the cameras because this took place right from, they never want to show how massive our crowd was. You know the biggest crowd I've ever seen? January 6th. And you never hear that. It was the biggest, and they were there largely to protest a corrupt and rigged and stolen election. It's the biggest crowd, and you never hear that. And you see very few pictures of it, but they're there. That was the biggest crowd I believe I've ever spoken to.
So, again, no one cares about the size of the crowd on January 6th because there's a more important aspect of that day, but he's still caught up on it. And then he demands to know why. Let me think if I can remember. If Clinton, both Clintons, and then Bush, and possibly Bush's father, and Barack Hussein Obama, as he says, aren't also being prosecuted. Do you have a particular crime you're accusing them of?
When will they investigate and prosecute Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, George Bush, and look into what took place with George Bush's father, a very nice man, and the warehouse of documents? And what about Barack Hussein Obama? Are they under potential prosecution?
No, I don't think so either, Trump, because there's not a crime there that you're accusing them of. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, George W., and Barack Obama all need to be prosecuted just to make it fair, just to show that the justice system isn't biased towards Trump. And then here's him all the way into 2022 still talking, you guessed it, about Hillary Clinton's emails.
But almost as bad, crooked Hillary deleted 33,000 emails under congressional subpoena. She acid washed them, although I do believe they're in the State Department, because it's very hard to get rid of them. But they acid wash, very expensive process. That's why nobody does it. And then pounded her phones with hammers.
Okay, pounding her phones with hammers, he says. It's an obsession, guys. And then, also on the topic of Hillary Clinton, someone who has not been involved in politics in a very long time at this point, he mentions her and the crowd chants, "Lock her up." Feels like I'm back in 2015.
And created a fake dossier. It turned out to be totally fake. That was done and paid for by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrat National Committee. And now it's admitted to have been fake.
Okay, so the same movement that's claiming Trump is being politically persecuted is like when you mention some opposing political figure, we're going to chant "lock her up" before she's been accused or shown to have committed a crime. And then again floating the idea that documents may have been planted at Mar-a-Lago. This bizarre, combination of defenses from him and people who follow him saying that, he had documents there, but they were declassified, and he was able to do that with just his thoughts. He's able to think and declassify stuff. But also, if there is something that is incriminating, then it was planted by the FBI, but also, and on we go. Take a look.
The National Archives put a trigger warning on the Constitution of the United States. Did you know that? And the Bill of Rights and other great documents that we have in our country, founding documents, considering them to be dangerous. They consider the Constitution to be dangerous. These are radical left lunatics, and they lose documents. They plant documents. Let's see, is there a book on nuclear destruction or the building of a nuclear weapon cheaply? Let's put that book in with Trump. No, they plant documents. I mean, they have a terrible reputation. Look at the kind of things. This is just a small part, what I've read. And who would want to be with them? We're safer in that Chinese restaurant that we just mentioned, to be honest. When the National Archives put a trigger warning on the...
There we go. Incredible. And then that wraps that up. And that may have been from 2 separate rallies, taking a look there. But just, doing his normal rambles and spreading his normal lies.